Hi everyone and welcome to Season 1 Episode 7 of Reputation Rebuild at Aberdeen with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So we've reached the end of the first part of our league season. After today's game it splits off into two groups and we're in the top group, which is really positive. We sit third place very comfortably now, but still a mile off of Rangers and Celtic. Today though, one last game in this particular section of the league and that's against Kilmarnock. Welcome back to Aberdeen, everybody. So a couple of things to go through before we get into today's game. You can see immediately that we are sitting in third position and really comfortably so at this point, which is great. 58 points compared to 48 our most direct rival St Johnstone below us. So we are secure in that third position, but we are absolutely miles off of Celtic and Rangers, and that is something that's going to be very hard to break down for the next couple of seasons, but we're going to give it as good a go as we possibly can. Couple of things to note: we're not the best in goal scoring. We're only 6th best in the league, but we're 3rd best in goals conceded, so that's not too bad. That is what we have to improve in the coming seasons, is our goal scoring ability. We're creating some chances, not too many. We're scoring a few here and there, but it's very inconsistent. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in a second when we look through most recent results. The other thing to talk about is the club finances are not particularly great at the moment. We've got a bit of an imbalance in the squad in terms of how much wages we're paying out compared to what we should be. We've got an issue in that we've got quite a few players that are coming to the end of their contracts that are just not good enough to keep. So there's no point financially putting them on new contracts. So we're going to have to let them go on free transfers at the end of the season, which means that we're going to have to pick up a load of free transfers and some loan players and stuff likely in the summer as well. So it's going to be a bit of rebuild over the summer, and hopefully by the end of it, this financial column in the overall balance will be a lot better than it currently is. But that's just one of those things that happens occasionally on Football Manager. Today, as I say, we've got the last of our current league matches before it splits off into two competitions. Top 6 play each other, bottom 6 play each other for about another 5 games. So that's still to come. We've also got St Mirren coming up in the Scottish Cup, so we're doing pretty well in that, really. If we go and look in our competitions, you see that we've reached the quarterfinals? A semi-final stage, and so we are almost in a final in our first season. Of course, the likelihood is if we get there, Celtic might be standing in our way, but that's for another day. But if we get there, I'll certainly play it on an episode, definitely. But overall, I'm really happy with the competition results in the Scottish Cup. The other 2 cup competitions, not so much. And 3rd place in the league's not bad. In the end, we were predicted 4th place, I think, behind Hibernian, who have struggled a bit this season. So to get 3rd, I think is not too bad so far. So anyway, for today's match, we got Kilmarnock. They're sitting down in 8th, so it's a decent game for us to be playing. But let's check out the most recent results that we've had and see some of the issues that we've had with our goal scoring. So you and I were together for the East Fife game, the Scottish Cup game in the last episode. And you can see we've gone on a good run of form. It's been very positive in a lot of ways. Couple of cup competition wins in there as well, which is great against Motherwell and Alloa. But the biggest problem you'll notice is that in the game that we played at East Fife, Alejandro Marquez got off the score sheet, a new signing for us in the January transfer window. And I thought he was going to get off to a really good start. And then he went really quiet for the next half dozen games and only came back to prominence in the last 2 matches against Alloa and against Dundee United, where he scored a couple of goals. But so far, it's been a little bit hit and miss, just the same as everybody else has. But nobody else has consistently come in and done the job for us. You can see that we've got a couple of goals here and there from midfielders, really, are our main source of the goals at the moment. But ultimately, we need to get these guys up top scoring. And I still don't think we've found the actual proper solution to our striking position potentially for next season. So we've still got a hunt for that a little bit. But anyway, you can see that the consistent form is good, though. We did lose against Celtic 2-0. We did get a 0-0 against Livingston, which was a bit of a pain, really. But other than that, It's been a good run of form. Haven't conceded too many. It's just about getting more consistent in front of goal. And if you go back, this is the section which has caused us the problem in terms of our goal scoring. You can see that we did not score enough through this period. Even when we were winning, we were only doing it by the odd goal. So hopefully the last couple of games will give us a real upturn in fortunes. And for the rest of the season, we can begin to fill our boots a little bit. Although I'm not always holding up much hope for it. But there you go. That's just one of those things. But recent form, good. Let's see if we can take that into Kilmarnock today. So unfortunately, going into today's game, we do have a couple of issues. One is that Dabu isn't on the bench. He's ineligible because we're playing against his parent club because he's on loan from Kilmarnock. So he can't play today. That's okay. He's only a bench warmer normally anyway. But the big problem, and it is a big problem, is that Hedges is going to be out for 3 to 5 months. And that's basically his season done at this point, unfortunately. It was a real blow to us, and it happened only like in the last game or so. So this is unfortunate. He's not the world's best player or anything, but he's a good player for Aberdeen, and we've now not got him for the rest of the season. And just to clarify that, the replacement, McLennan, is not very good at all, really. I mean, he's doing all right for us. I'm not really sure how. It's just based off his acceleration and pace, I think, more than anything. But you can see the rest of it is not even ordinary, is it? It's fairly rubbish. So anyway, we've got to sort that out again in the summer. But hopefully by the start of next season, we'll have Hedges back in the squad at least. Hopefully as a substitute at that point because we've found a better option. But either way, for the rest of the season, we're going to have to struggle on without him. So all of that means that for today's match, we have Lewis in goal, Logan at right back, Hayes at left back, Hobben and Considine in central defence, McCrory, Ferguson and Vertinen in central midfield, McLennan on the right, McGinn on the left and Marquez up top. 9 people on the bench, 5 of which we can use as substitutes in this particular competition. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So having had a couple of really good results in the last couple of matches, I've decided to go with keep up the performance from where we left off last time out and just see if we can push forward into another positive performance. We'll have to wait and see how that works out today, but we've got a good chance, I would imagine, and we get a chance down the left-hand side to build up an attack. Vertinen into Ferguson, out wide left to Hayes again. Can we get the cross in? He drops it back and we lose possession, unfortunately. We worked ourselves a good spot and then we didn't capitalise on it. But we won the ball back defensively, very securely. That's good. McGinn takes over, out wide right to McLennan, the replacement for Hedges. And eventually the attempt goes narrowly wide. At least we get something at goal. A shot at goal, not on target, but that'll do for the first sort of few minutes of the game just to get us embedded into it. We've got a lot of possession, which is good. We have to find a way to make the most of it and make a chance count. Ferguson on the ball, back to Logan. Out wide again to McLennan, getting involved in the play. Nicely over the top for McGinn, and there is the opening goal at 17 minutes. Really good play in midfield. Good pass and move. And then the ball came out from, I think it was Ferguson. Yep, it was Ferguson. And he got it back from McCrory, then dinked it over the top into the on-running McGinn. That's a really good finish over the top of the defender to let the ball drop. And then on the half volley, on the left foot, put it in the back of the net. So really good play in midfield, really good finish. And that puts us 1-0 up, and I'm pretty happy with that so far. McGinn with a really good sweeping free kick. We're going to win the loose ball, which is good to see. Considine and Hobben on their way back to their defensive duties from the corner kick get involved in the play. And again, we thread it through. This time, though, the goalkeeper got down and saved it with not too much of a problem really, but a good sweeping move again. We're looking dangerous. You can see that we've now had 8 shots at goal and 3 on target, now 9 and 4. So we're dominating the game. Possession is up for us at 63% as well. So all in all, that is not a bad first half. Maybe one more decent chance would have been a good thing, just to put them even more under the pressure that I think our general play warranted. But overall, pretty happy with that. So we can go in, outstretched arms. I'm delighted with how things are going. Just build up the motivation and the momentum behind the play. And then when we go in there, we can demand more from them, even at this point in the second half, just to keep pushing them forward, keep making them think about what they're doing and not rest on their laurels, and see if we can get a couple more chances. But again, it's been a little bit quiet for the first 20 minutes or so of this second half. We're going to have to make a couple of changes here. 69 minutes in, we're going to go into the tactics. We're going to make a couple of personnel changes, see where some of the issues lie. So we've got Logan has only just come back from a couple of weeks out. So we're going to take him out and put Thompson back into play at right fullback. And it's kind of obvious, isn't it? McLennan out wide right, not doing so great. And again, a striker not performing particularly well up top. So Cambury comes on for him. And then we do have a bit of an issue that both of our attacking wingers in the bench are primarily left-sided players. So we're going to have to play one of them out of position. So I'm going to bring Kennedy on just to bring him in there. And we're going to... what are we going to do with him? No, I think we'll keep him as the inverted winger, which is fine. So he can play that role. And we'll go back in. I don't need to change anything much of the actual shape and structure. I just feel like we needed a little bit more cutting edge up top. And we're still not getting it. Even though Marquez, I think, is decent for this level of football. He's been a little bit hit and miss, unfortunately, and that is part of having a guy in for half a season. It takes him a while to settle when he's a foreign guy. It was pointed out in the comments in one of the last videos that that would be the case, and it's turned out to be that. So shout out to you. You know what you're talking about out there. And we'll just have to see whether in the final half dozen games of the season he can find a bit of a run of form. But Hayes on the far side with a corner kick, left-footed, sweeps it into Cambury. I think it was Cambury anyway, but he didn't quite get it on target and the defender cleared it back into the penalty box, but a bit aimless, a bit kind of, not particularly directed in the way that I would like it to be. But again, it goes out for another corner kick for Hayes to send to the far post. Cambury again underneath it. Doesn't get the header down. It's always over the top of the bar. And there goes the final whistle. It was kind of an easy win, sort of, in that I don't think Kilmarnock really did an awful lot against us, but it's been very typical of the performances we've put out. 14 shots at goal, 7 on target, XG of 1.6 something, and we only get the 1 goal out of it. And that's what we really need to improve next season. The team played really well, though. McGinn with an 8 average rating. There's lots of 7s in that midfield and defensive area. It's just in that striking position. Can't find a way to unlock them at the moment. I'd be tempted, sort of, to take one of these 3 midfielders and put them in that cam role just behind a striker and see if we can get some more support there. But I think defensively is the way to go this season particularly, and just try and secure that. Maybe in the summer we might buy some players that can play in that cam role and change it up a little bit. But anyway, overall, I'm not too disappointed with the game in the terms of the result. Just, I think the performance could have been a bit better. So before we actually figure out exactly who we're going to play next episode, you can see that the split has happened in the Scottish Premiership. 6th and up play each other, 7th and down play each other. So we're in that top group. We've still got 5 more games against these other top 6 members to play. So there's some tough games in there against the likes of Rangers and Celtic again. But we are secure in our 3rd position. We've qualified already for the Euro Cup 2. Okay, fine. We'll have to see what that brings us in the next season, if nothing more. But ultimately, it's about the second half of this Scottish Premiership and playing the last 5 games and keeping that position as secure as possible, and maybe, just maybe, trying to find a way to indent the gap between us and Celtic a little bit. Although I think that's kind of nigh on impossible at this point. So what we can see is the run of games is we got our Scottish Cup semi-final against St Mirren coming up, which is a good game for us to play. We then play Rangers, St Johnstone, Livingston, Motherwell and Celtic. And so what we're going to come back for is the final game of the season in the Scottish Premiership, Celtic. We might do a double header with a cup final if we've got there as well, which I think will also be against Celtic if we get through, probably. But it just depends on where that sits and whether we get through or not. So come back next episode. We might have a double header against Celtic to play. It might just be the one game. We'll have to wait and see. But we're comfortably in third place, and I'm really, really happy with it. And we've still got that sneaky chance of a trophy this season. So let's see if we can do that. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. I hope you're still enjoying this particular season with Aberdeen. We've got a couple more seasons to really turn this side around a little bit and make them into a bit more of a force than they currently are. But season one's gone pretty well. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That will help me get seen by lots more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.